It just changed. I was like, this is something proper now, a business rather than Dan's side hustle.
Meet Dan Scott, widely known as Mr. Adobe Online and the mastermind behind Bring Your Own Laptop, a 7-figure business that helps designers master Adobe tools like Photoshop and Illustrator, along with other popular design tools like Canva and Figma. But what makes Dan's journey truly remarkable is that he started this business as an offline teaching center, shut it all down, and rebuilt it online from scratch. And the growth engine behind this business is his YouTube channel, where he has defied every trend and algorithm rule out there and built a 600K audience by giving away 2-hour-long tutorials. Dan is one of the most inspiring creators I know and is my longest standing client. This is Dan's growth story.
Yeah, so my first kind of like foray into design was actually just left high school with no real plan. I liked painting, went to art school, I was gonna be a painter. My parents are like, okay. Off I went. And then it wasn't long, like walking the halls one day, looked through a window, I'm like, oh, there's lots of computers at this art school. All those kind of like, I think they're G3, those bubble looking iMacs. And I was just like, I wanna do this. I don't know what it is, but like computers, art, awesome. I lived in London for a good few years, and that's kind of where I learned a lot of my graphic design trade. Like I was the ultimate freelancer, as in I was 2 weeks here, 1 week there, 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there. And it was great. I did that for years, where later I went from more traditional design into teaching. I was a studio manager at a creative agency, and they laid me off. Looking around, luckily there was a job in teaching, and it was at a place not far from my house. And the further I got along, the more I realized that the actual teaching part is where I was most excited, and that I think I was a good enough designer, but I think I was a great teacher. I had started a lot of small businesses already and failed. I came home to New Zealand and realized there's no training center here. It's a skill that I knew worked, and I was like, all right. Me and my girlfriend were traveling Thailand, and we wrote down on a list, we're like, if I could charge this much per thing, we could make this much, and we're millionaires. It wasn't, it was like way underpriced, but we were like, okay, it was inspiring. We had no money, but no kids. We were traveling in a camper van, setting it up. She'd go for walks during the day, and I was in the camper van doing business stuff. And yeah, it was just super, super exciting. Both on board, new country. She'd never been to New Zealand. We were camper vanning around. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So at this point, Dan has a running business, but he makes the one mistake that every entrepreneur does, which is he underprices himself.
We were charging so low. Like we started at $200 for a day for a course, and you needed quite a few people to make it profitable once you rented the room and the gear and the software and all that sort of stuff. And then one day just went, what does it properly need to cost? And we changed the price, and people kept booking. You're like, oh, all right.
So Dan's business is working in New Zealand. He's running a multi-6-figure business. He's thinking about expanding, but this is when him and his wife decide that they're going to move their small family to Ireland. And Dan is faced with the enormous task of reestablishing this business in a brand new country. Luckily for Dan, though, this is the point in time where he starts to experiment with taking this business online.
So I'm going to set up an in-person classroom training in Dublin. And this online thing, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do both, like a race. I'm like, I'm gonna do both. It's really hard, but it's okay. So yeah, it just started doing it. It was like $2 a month, $5 a month, $25 a month, and it got to like, it was like tripling. The exponential growth of online was just too hard to ignore. So when was it? It was 2017-ish. I'm quite risk averse in some things, and then totally like love the risk in other parts. And I got to like $2,000 maybe a month. I remember being good enough. I was like, $2,000 a month, can't quite live on it. But if in 6 months it's at 10 and you're like, holy crap, I'm rich.
Dan sees the traction that he was getting online and makes the decision to shut down his in-person training centers. But while likely a difficult decision, what makes Dan's classes so magical is that he's able to bring this energy and enthusiasm and teaching style from his in-person training days online at a fraction of the cost and the time. So this is why Dan is now known as Mr. Adobe Online. He breaks down these super complicated tools in a very easy and approachable way so that anyone trying to get started in design can pick it up and start learning.
I love online so much more. I can deliver the most amazing thing once, whereas in person, I was having to deliver it every Monday or every second day to a whole new group of people, whereas it's so much easier online. I can go hardcore into it once, make it amazing, and everyone gets to experience that one amazingness, and I don't have to recreate the magic every time.
So the big growth engine behind Dan's business is actually his YouTube channel, where he defies all YouTube best practices and takes a huge chunk of his 10-hour courses and puts them completely free online on his YouTube channel. And he does this every single year for 10 plus years. And now his success has snowballed. He's amassed this loyal following of over 600,000 YouTube subscribers.
It's kind of controversial. I started doing it, it works for me. My philosophy for YouTube, and it's kind of been like this forever, is I feel like the days of this wall where you're kind of looking through the window and you will pay to go inside doesn't work. What I like the idea of is, like, I've got courses that are 10 hours long and I'll give 2.5 hours of that away. Because what I feel works and is working for me is I want to get to a point where me and them have a really good connection and they just want to do more in a, like, that was awesome, that was amazing, you got us to a really good level, and I just want to do more. I make my courses to know I'm going to give away a huge amount, and at the end of that, I want them walking away going, even if they don't come with me, that was awesome. That was a thing, I made something, I'm successful, this is freaking amazing.
So the other big growth lever for Dan's business are these third-party classes sites like Udemy and Skillshare. He goes beyond his organic audience that he's getting from YouTube and starts to build audiences on all of these other third-party sites.
I always made sure I kept my own thing. I always have this, like, build my own website. I don't use any other kind of software platform. I want control of it all. When I was making my own courses as well, I was pretty determined to have my own site plus any other third-party site that seemed viable. It was the days of, you didn't really know who was going to be the winner. Udemy and Skillshare have one. They kind of funded what I was doing. These places were doing all the work. I only had to support them a little bit. They didn't need much. And distribution was just, it was another kind of like ladder in my support system in terms of revenue. At the beginning, they drove all the revenue. At the moment, my own site drives most of the revenue, but those other two parts are, without a doubt, the only reason I can kind of do what I do now. Yeah, I love this situation. I bring in my own audience, they bring in theirs, and we're separate. I'm not trying to grab stuff from them, they're not trying to grab stuff from me. So I think there's just great ways of diversification where finding the audience reach, theirs is much more massive, mine's much smaller, but mine's much more connected.
As Dan's business continues to scale, he's trying to find new ways to grow his audience and really solidify himself as the go-to learning destination for creatives, all while trying to avoid burning himself out.
So I want a team of 4 or 5 instructors doing not 100 Photoshop courses, but one brilliant one that's up to date and is just really well structured, and that something else like Blender or Procreate or Illustrator. So I want to kind of not duplicate myself, but like bring the great structure that me and the team have built through Bring a Laptop, bring it to someone else, have their own flavor, but find people with flavor.
So that's Dan Scott's growth story. Thanks, Dan, for the interview. If you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe to the channel and check out the other growth stories that I have from other inspiring creators as well.